This place is known as the Hermitage of St. Francis, the place where he would come to pray, to be still and silent 800 years ago. Of course, the buildings that are around here today weren't here then, they were built later, and rather this place, this hillside, was a place where there were caves, where many people would come to pray. It's where he would come, because he knew that it was in stillness and silence that he could be most aware of the presence and action of God. It's interesting to note so many people here. It's not quite a place of stillness and silence today. You can probably hear in the background many people. It's significant to note many young people, I would say, in their 20s from all over the world, who really are seeking a place for silence and getting a bit frustrated that every track they turn down in these woods they find groups of noisy people. Perhaps they are learning, as I've been reminded here, that the place where I can find stillness and silence is wherever I am. Even at home, in the midst of the demands of work or the other pressures, all it needs is a decision to take some time, to be still, to be silent, to pray. Because what I'm doing then, as Francis knew well, was simply giving God time. And God doesn't need anything else from us, because our time is an expression of our desire for God. If we are giving God that time, even if it's just a few moments, a couple of times a day, what grows in us is our desire for God and an awareness that only God can deliver the depth of happiness, satisfaction and peace that we are seeking in life. This can only come from God. And when we're still and silent, of course, all of the stuff that's a part of our lives comes into our consciousness, all of the things that we might call distraction, but really there's no such thing as a distraction in prayer. A distraction is something that I don't think should be there, or I don't want to be there. But prayer is really about what God is wanting and what God is doing. And one of the things that God needs us to be is in our reality. We might be afraid of our own reality, of the struggles, the hurt, the pain, the grief that we feel, but God's not afraid of that. In fact, that's the place where God is most seeking to work in us. And whenever we are still and silent, all of this stuff comes into our consciousness. It doesn't feel great, of course, but neither did the stable feel great for Mary and Joseph as they entered on that evening before the birth of the Messiah. And so too, the part of our own lives that is most ready for God and most in need of God is probably the part of our lives that most resembles that Bethlehem stable. So my encouragement is to realize, as many young people here have realized and I've realized anew, that wherever you are, whatever situation you are in, it's not too difficult to find just a few moments of stillness and silence, the place where we most can be aware of the presence and action of God in our lives. So this is my prayer for you today. Please keep me in your prayer.